why am I saying, putting in my title, we're Polynesian European, and were they white? Honestly, were they white? And I'm actually going to tell you the name of the book that I'm reading. Is called Early Observation of Maquisian Culture in Tahiti. Okay? And here's something really interesting that I found. That as like in all of Polynesia, the men were very tall, 6 feet high. I'm just gonna show you some highlights of what I found really funny, amazing about this. And it again shows that there was these two classes within Polynesia. I keep reading it. Samoa, Tonga, it does not matter. Even Fiji, you hear about it. And it says that those of the lower class were seen as little puny creatures, and those of high class were taller and had fine features. Okay, just remember that. And here's the thing, right? They described It's this is the same thing I read in Samoa, the early contact Samoa. The few described as having very fair complexion. There may have been far more in the later category. Okay? This is the man, the Spanish man, who described the numerous natives who greeted the Spaniards on the islands as almost white. As for the women who did not artificially lighten their skin, the technique that will be described elsewhere, their complexion was described as being of brownish cast. In all probability, the upper class women who lightened their skins and made every effort to stay out of the sun accounted for several mentions an exceptionally fair woman. Nonetheless, naturally fair complexion must have existed to some extent. This is why I say this is all this information is just debunking this whole idea of out of Taiwan theory. This whole idea that we were admixed with um, Melanesian, we got this Blasian in within our blood. Look at this. Captain James Cook noted that youths and children were as fair as some Europeans. Okay? Read that. Why would these Europeans go there and make this kind of BS? Okay, why would they make that bullshit? This was during 1595 to 1813. Okay, this is the first contact, the earliest contact they had with with these people. Okay, and you can keep reading it. Some of them were white skin, being moon-eyed. Almost certainly were albinos. Okay, so they point out there were albinos there too. Just as skin color varied among Maquisians, so did the form of the color of their hair. Though it is generally described as black, some had locks classified as brown and urban. This guy mentioned one woman on Whatahui with strikingly red hair. Look, red hair. There are also reports of a few Maquisians having sandy or flaxen hair. However, the light color may have been chemically induced by applying the sapopapa plant to lighten the skin, or also claimed by Crook to lighten any color of the hair except black. It is therefore possible that flaxen hair was a result of treating brown or urban hair with this liquid. Whatever the color, most observers describe Maquisian hair as being either straight, do you hear that? Straight or curly. And he stated that the hair of the lower class was woolly and coarse, though not quite as much as the African blacks. So you can see straight away that there were two classes within Polynesia. There is this other race within Polynesia, and they were not considered Negro. And you'll see right over here appearing, they had appearing pure horns. And it's the same as in Samoa. this hairstyle. Some women cut their hair short, while others left it long and occasionally tied it from the knot on the top of their head. The women of the upper class having a longer tresses, while the above hairstyle may have represented the norm, equation, and distinctive treatments. Shaved shaved all their hair from their head. And look, a similar practice occurred in Tonga. So they're pretty much saying this is how the hairstyles back in the days and the tattooing of the bodies. Yeah, man, if you keep reading this, it shows you that there is no such thing as Polynesians being originally black. It just shows you that white skin, light skin, that Polynesians were very tall, and there were two classes within Polynesia. Like, every single time I keep reading it, these European navigators said that those who were of the higher class were very tall, well built, and very good looking, while those who were of the lower class were not seen as beautiful. In fact, when I keep reading it, it's like they kind of like saying that they look more Negroid in features or more Asiaistic in features compared to those of the higher class. So here's the question, right? Where did these people come from? These very tall, robust people who had very Cascoid type of features. Where did they come from? Did they come from Taiwan? Did they come from Melanesia? Or, as I keep saying, the only other place you can point out is within the Americas. And something I found very interesting when I was reading this was this whole idea of this one right here. That within Tahiti, what he's talking about, that there is this tree that's growing there, which is called cashew, or American tree, which you find, guess where? Where I keep pinpointing where the Polynesian ancestors came from the Americas, from the Banja tribe, where it's very well known that this type of tree is growing within that area.